What's up, fellow humans? This is what I would like to call my reflection on my digital video and audio production class at Full Sail University. I'm gonna go ahead and reflect on the month so far, and it's the end of the month actually. I'll be moving on to another class next week. So this is gonna be me reflecting on the projects that I did mainly, and yeah, we're gonna get right into it. All right, so question number one: how did prior knowledge influence my project? Prior knowledge before this class, how did it influence my project? Well, I've always had a background in recording. I've been in music my whole life. I was in the industry as an entertainer, as a performer. I've done writing, I've done production. I love doing music scores for film. And so obviously sound is a big thing, and it's something that I'm still working on as far as mixing. Mixing, for those of you who don't know, is definitely more of an art form than almost anything else when it comes to music. It's such an art form. Some people are really born with an ear, and some people really have to work hard at tuning it up and getting it where it needs to be. And I'm still in that working hard phase when it comes to mixing. I mean, I know what I like, I know what I think sounds good, but it doesn't always play well across multi-mediums. So I've been a photographer, freelance photographer for the last 9 to 10 years. I haven't done it as a job for quite a few years, but you know, and I do graphic design. I'm an artist. I paint. You know, I draw. I sketch. I came with this with an eye for what I felt like I thought looked good, but at the same time, you try and keep an open mind because what you think may work may not work. You know, until you start putting things in perspective, until you start actually making films and start actually putting things on camera and seeing what it really looks like. You can have all kinds of dreams and aspirations in your head, but until you start putting things down, you never really know if it's gonna be as good as it looks in your head. I had a lot of preconceived notions coming in, some good, some bad, and I definitely learned a lot. My instructors are great. Philip and Phyllis were great instructors, you know, really easygoing, and helped to open my eyes to a lot of things. It was great. It was great. I look forward to the next iteration of this class. All right, so question number 2. I realized I wanted to know more about what specifically. I would have to say I realized I wanted to know more about editing, as well as obviously audio mixing when it comes to Audition and Premiere Pro. These are 2 things that I definitely need to and really want to know more about, as well as After Effects. Mixing After Effects in with Premiere Pro, like doing your intros and your outros, and animated typography texting is something that I really want to know about. And these are things that the teachers have touched on, as well as a good tool is lynda.com. One of the things that we can get access to here at Full Sail for free is lynda.com. Some people don't like it, which I can understand that. I'm not a huge online learning person. I love learning more in person, hand-to-hand, talking to a teacher. But lynda.com seems to be really cool when you can sit down at your own pace and kind of look at a video over and over again. And then when you really have questions, you can talk to your teacher when you get to class. You know, so I really like lynda.com very much, to be honest with you. And I love the fact that we get that for free. It's a really huge thing that a lot of people would love to have access to, that we get access to. I would have to say, yes, the audio, the mixing, the editing. Editing is a huge thing. I'm at the point now where I just kind of want to record as much as I can. You know, even if I take the camera out and just record going to the freaking gas station or something, and then try and bring something back and just edit. Like, I want to edit as much as I possibly can, so that way I can get better at it. All right, so question number 3. If I had more time, I would have done what? When it comes to this project, the video portrait project that we had to do for this class, if I had more time, I obviously would dig deeper into what my model does for a living. My model that I use, Julia Rosado, she works for the Watermelon Board. You know, if I had more time, I would have went with her to work to show her in her office. If I had more time, I would love to have gone with her to a watermelon patch to actually see, you know, what that looks like. If I had more time, I would love to have gone to a convention with her, which she does a lot. She does a lot of traveling. She goes to a lot of health food conventions for farmers and surpluses and people that are trying to get their crops to, you know, stores or to big companies. She goes to a lot of these conventions. So, you know, if I had more time and had the ability to, I would have loved to have gone to a convention with her. You know, so yeah, if I had more time, I definitely would have filmed more and would love to have made this more of a bigger piece, which I hope to do on my own time anyway. I'd love to build off of this and make it a little bit more than just 1 minute, which felt like 1 second. But yeah, you know, more time obviously means that I would delve more into what she does, show more, and build out on the story as a whole. Last question. how does working on this project help me in my future goals? My future goal, my main future goal is to own my own media production company. That's what I want to do, and so this class definitely helps when it comes to learning how to be in front and behind the camera. Also, I mean, to be honest, man, the biggest part of this class that I take away from this class is the editing process. The fact that you have to take your time and get as much footage as you possibly can, because you never know what you may need and may not need. There was a part in the editing process when I had to edit down to the 1 minute, and at the end of my 1 minute, I filmed my model in a grocery store, so there was so much ambient sound, and then at the end of the film, it cut to an end card, and it was just complete silence except for the soundtrack. So the sound from the ambient sound cutting straight to just the soundtrack, it was such a jarring cut that what I ended up doing, because my teacher, one of my instructors, Phyllis, told me to do this, which was an awesome idea. I went back and found some extra footage that I didn't actually use in the edit, just ambient sound from the grocery store without her talking, without me talking over it, and I put that in, so when she finished talking and the video ended and it went to the end card, you still heard the ambient sound from the grocery store over the soundtrack, so it wasn't such a quick cut, and then I kind of faded it down. So it was so much less jarring, and it worked better. So in that sense, it's like, okay, I understand. You want to get as much footage as you possibly can. You want to film as much as you can. More is so much better in this case. But then the flip side of that, the harder part is, after filming so much footage, when you're out there, you're filming, you're kind of putting the story together in your head. But then when you sit down and you put all the stuff in the computer, and then you realize you can only really use a minute or 2 minutes of this footage, you filmed 2 hours of footage. I filmed over an hour of footage, and I only got to use 1 minute altogether. So that's really hard, but it's a really good skill to learn, is how to cut out things you don't need. Learning what you don't need to tell the story. You know what I'm saying? And getting rid of it. Just keeping it to this to what you need, and just and tell the story. And that goes with the editing as well. And you can cut out so much of this stuff and just get to the point. And so yeah, I mean, the editing is such a huge thing for me. It's something that I want to get better at, like seriously get better at. Oh, and color correction. That is not easy to do. There's a whole other beast that I'm gonna get into as well. All right, so that is it for this reflection film. Like I said, I am about 10 months in to my bachelor's degree in media communications at Full Sail, and this was a reflection on the video, digital and audio recording class. My next class is going to be a research class, which I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to, just because I hate research. But you got to kind of step out of your comfort zone. So I look forward to it. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you instructors for tuning in. I really appreciate you, Philip and Phyllis. You guys are great, and I hope to see you very soon. Peace.